Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I wanted to do a deck profile for a deck that I'm like kind of calling Lost Zone Box, but it also does have that Giratina VSTAR kind of flavor in there. And this is a deck that I've been really enjoying playing. It's a deck that I think is very good. I've topped some tournaments with it recently. Um, and so yeah, I wanted to do a video on this because I did a video on Giratina already, and I'm going to be completely honest, that list was pretty bad. This list I'm liking a lot more. It's very similar to the other one in a lot of ways, but it does kind of have like a couple different play styles, which I really like about decks, like having different play styles. It's always super cool. So yeah, we'll just get right into that. Starting off, like I just mentioned, we are kind of like a Giratina deck, but we also do have some attackers we can utilize at a single prize, like the Cramorant here, which has the Lost Provisions ability that says if you have 4 or more cards in the Lost Zone, you ignore all energy in this Pokemon's attack costs, which is very good because the attack for free, if you have 4 in the Lost Zone, does 110 damage, which is pretty decent. That'll KO Comfies, it'll KO Solables, Badoost, things like that. So this Cramorant is very good. We're playing 2 of it in the deck. The other main single prize attacker we have is 1 copy of the Sableye. The Sableye also extremely good. The Lost Mine attack for a Psychic Energy. You can use the stack only if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. Put 12 or more damage cards on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. That is just really strong. Now the thing that is kind of can be annoying about the Sableye sometimes is that it only plays 12 damage counters, which is not good when you're trying to knock out 2 Comfies. So to help out that math, we have 1 copy of Galarian Dragoon. Because if we place a Galarian Dragoon, put a damage counter on a Comfy, scoop it up, put it back down, put another damage counter on a Comfy, then between 2 Comfies, that's going to be 120 HP total, which you'll be able to knock out Sableye. So Galarian Dragoon is very good for fixing math for your Sableye, as well as your Cramorant, which I just took out of the deck, didn't want to do that. And then finally, of course, we have Radiant Greninja, which not only is an insane consistency card, but this time, unlike the last time I did a video on this card, or on this deck, we're running Water Energy, 3 copies of Water Energy. This is to attack with Radiant Greninja, Moonlight Shuriken, which is an insanely powerful attack if it's gone unchecked with like a Manaphy in play or something like that. It is really good. And so sometimes this deck can just like kind of cosplay as a single prize deck because you have 2 Cramorants, a Sableye, and Radiant Greninja, as well as 2 Ornate Rods, which is a little bit higher than most Giratina lists are playing. A lot of them are playing 1 and a Recycler. I'm playing 2 and a Recycler just so you can really get back those single prize Pokemon. So in the matchups you need them, you can basically just be a single prize Lost Zone deck that has access to Greninja and stuff like that, which is really cool. But of course, then we also have the other route, which is going to be with the Giratina VSTAR. This card is just so insanely good. Like everything about this card is just so good. No weakness, giant HP, 1 kills everything basically. It's all you ever really want on a card. But we have the Lost Impact for Grass Psychic Catalyst, dealing 280 damage, and then you have to put 2 energy attached to your Pokemon in the Lost Zone, which is not hard to fulfill. Oh my gosh, to fulfill when you have Mirage Gate to accelerate energy into play. To easily use Lost Impact and take some really big knockouts. So this is going to be useful versus your VSTAR decks, like the Arceus, like the Palkia, versus the Mirrors with the other Giratinas. But we also have the VSTAR power, Star Requiem. For Grass Psychic, you use this attack only if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. Your opponent's active Pokemon is instantly knocked out. So this will allow you to KO VMAXs that Lost Impact won't reach. Things like Kyurem VMAX, Ice Rider, Calyrex VMAX, and Mew VMAX are the main ones. So this card is just all around super good. And the only reason we're playing a 2-2 line is because we have 2 Ordinary Rods to get them back if we want, as well as having access to Thornton, which allows you to switch a basic Pokemon you have in play with a basic Pokemon in your discard pile. All energy and turns in play and all the stuff remains on the new Pokemon. So it means if you just like bench a Luminion, or if you bench like a Luminion and then you don't want him to play anymore, you can just Thornton the Luminion and turn it into a Giratina V, evolve that Giratina V, as long as Luminion has been in play for a turn. Mirage Gate attacks, and there you go. You got 280 out of nowhere, which is really good. Thornton also allows you to recycle your attackers 1 more time, so it can get you more uses out of Cramorant, Sableye, things like that. Thornton is really good. And then, of course, tying this entire deck together, we have Comfy with the Flower selecting. Once you turn, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them in your hand, and then put the other in the Lost Zone. So this allows you to power up the cards you need in the Lost Zone to access Mirage Gates. We also, of course, this Experiment for powering up our, or to get more cards in our hand, as well as putting more cards in the Lost Zone, which is not a bad thing in this deck. Um, and then yeah, also we have the Drapion V, which is simply a Mew tech, because this will one at KO Mew VMAX almost all the time because of the Wild Style ability, saying that its attack cost is one colorless less for each of your opponent's Pokemon that is Single Strike, Rapid Strike, or Fusion Strike. So if your opponent often playing Mew is going to have 6 Fusion Strike Pokemon to play because they want to draw maximum with Genesect, so then Dynamic Tail will be hitting for free, dealing 190 damage weakness because of this Dark type, and one at killing a Mew VMAX. And if your opponent does not put a Lost City in play in order to Lost Zone the Drapion V after they knock it out, you can just Thornton it back into play and take another knockout on VMAX or Ordinary Rod it back in the deck. So this Drapion really keeps the Mew in check. That makes it almost an auto win. Even if they do Lost Zone it, you're going to be pretty fine because the route you can do is you can knock out one VMAX with the Drapion V and then simply Star Requiem on the Giratina VSTAR, the other UVMAX. So there's some really cool things you can do in that matchup too. If your opponent is playing the Fusion version that does play Fusion Energies, they're going to have access to Meloetta attack, so you can use a Cramorant to knock out the Meloetta for free. Now also, the cool thing about playing Water Energies is we also can actually attack with Lumineon V, which does 120 damage for water colors colorless, but you can actually power it with Mirage Gate, and then you shuffle the Lumineon and all cards attached to it into your deck, which is really good for removing the Lumineon from play if you don't want it on there anymore. Maybe it's a lost condition at some point in the game. You can remove that from play. And also 120 damage is pretty respectable. You're just one Galarian Zigzagoon ping or just one Sableye ping away for one at killing a Radiant Greninja, which is nice. You automatically KO Cramorants, which is really cool. This deck is just so much access to it, and I'm really loving this deck just because there's so many things you can do with it, and that's what I love, having just options in the deck. Now let's go play some games on it with, or some games on the ladder with this deck. Hopefully you don't hit any single price matchups. Single price matchups are, of course, you can deal with them because we have the double Cramorant, double Rod, Ninja, so they're not a horrible matchup, but they're definitely one we don't want to like. It doesn't. I don't think it really shows off the Giratina VSTAR portion of this deck as well as I want it to. So let's see what we're up against here. We do win the coin flips. So we're going first every single day of the week. So let's see what our opening hand is like. This deck is generally pretty consistent, I found, which is super nice. I hate it. Just bricking always just feels so bad. So having a deck that minimizes that chance is really cool. We have Battle VIP Pass and a basic, so this hand is really good. We have Chorus, we have Battle VIP Pass, Energy. This hand is really nice. Only thing we're missing is really like a switch or a escape rope. Now our opponent does have their own Sableye, which means that we're probably up against a mirror match. So this will be a match that we're not usually going to be attacking with Giratina too often, unless they are playing Snorlax. So we're just going to start off with the VIP Pass. See what we have. We have both the Cramorants and our Sableye. Both the rods. I think what we really want to do here is end our turn with this active, so that it's going to be more difficult for them to pull off a Cramorant KO. Because that is the thing we really do not want to have happen, is them to get a KO on turn 1, because then it makes it harder for us to win the prize race. I think we can just go for a double Comfy here. Yep. So we'll just go grab those out. And then we'll play the other one. We'll just get a Cram and a Giratina V. Because it's still worth setting up a Giratina V to threaten. Also, this Giratina V is pretty good early in the game because it usually isn't getting 1 at KO at 220 HP, no weakness. So Cram's usually just 2-shotting this. So Shredder can be pretty decent. Now the question here is, do we want to conceal cards or attach? I think the answer is attach. It's playing a little bit risky, but it is what it is. Let's see what we get here. Not great. That is not what we want to see, because now we have a Comfy active. We can't move from the active, which feels bad, because now we give our opponent the chance to attack us. Now, if they do have to play an escape rope in order to switch to Sableye, that'll be nice, because we can just send up a Radiant Greninja and be completely fine. We'll have to see. So it looks like we're also playing up Giratina V. So I lied. We are actually going to be, oh, there's the escape rope. So we'll just send up this Radiant Greninja. We can just scoop up at this after we use the ability and get use out of it again. But this matchup, we will actually be using our Giratina V. So glad we got that out. That was Capture Energy. See if that grabs them. Another Comfy. That makes sense. And sometimes the Giratina mirror match can just be one big game of chicken. Whoever takes the first KO on the VSTAR. Now, they did Lost Zone a VSTAR, which is interesting. They most likely play 3, maybe 4. because that's what the standard is for a lot of lists. My list is kind of unique. I haven't been seeing too many lists that play 2 V-Stars nowadays, but I think 2 V-Stars is honestly all you really need when you have 2 Ordinary Rod to go along with it. So they're colorless though, so they're getting a lot of cards in the Lost Zone here. Also think Guru and the Neon. So that means our Roxannes might stick a little bit harder than they usually would now. So skipping another flower selecting, they probably will have the 4 quota now. Yep. See what they get rid of here. Okay, there goes the Comfy. And then Quick Ball. Okay, so they do actually have their own water energy, which means they probably have their own Greninja as well. And then comes down the second Giratina V. Okay, so we're definitely just playing this because our hand is pretty bad otherwise. We definitely want this, and probably energy too, because we want to get use out of this before we have to scoop it net it. Let's go ahead and do that. And our hand is looking pretty strong for bossing the next turn. It could be Marnied, but if we don't KO anything, and also they are down the Luminon B, so it's going to be pretty hard for them to find that Marnie if they do want to Marnie us. So I think here I'll just scoop a net, Greninja, go into this Comfy, and so you can start finding with our flower selecting. Oh boy, I think we want to keep this Colress. We already have the other boss in our hand. Other than that, this hand is pretty bad, which sucks. We really want more energy than this. Because we do not have that many in the Lost Zone. Yeah, only 4. So we're going to have kind of a difficult time bossing next turn. Yikes. I think I'm going to Quick Ball here and discard this Quick Ball. And then just go find our second Giratina V and pass. Not worth V-starring this because we're probably not getting hand disrupt, and if they do KO one of these, we just want to have this in the hand for the other one. Usually in Giratina, with Giratina, it's usually not a great idea to evolve your V-Star if you're not attacking on the same turn, because it is likely that it might get knocked out, which means you're going to have to Ordinary Rod it back in because you'll actually have 2 V-Stars in the deck. Okay, there comes the flower selecting for my opponents. I'd be very surprised if we didn't just see a Cramorant KO here. That's what I would imagine would be happening. Skip nets, okay, and they're Comfy. So this is, yeah, building themselves up a decent hand size. Now the thing about the KOing this Comfy with their Cramorant means that they're going to be pretty prone to Roxanne after they knock out one of my Giratina V-Stars, which is pretty nice. Okay, there comes their Giratina V-Star. Grass Energy is probably just retreating into Cramorant, or nope, another Comfy. So it looks like they still switch outs in their hand. They are getting a lot of cards in their Lost Zone here. Yep, there's the 7, so they have access to Mirage Gate. They can boss us here. They have everything they need in their hand. Okay, and there's Colress, so we're not getting bossed. Let's see what this finds them. Alright, so they're Lost Zone in Quick Ball, Giratina V. Okay, so they do have 3 of those originally, but now they only get down to 2. It's cool. And yeah, here comes the Cramorant now to take the knockout. Makes sense. This is looking a little bit rough. Maybe we could do this turn to just take a knockout on our Cramorant. If they do boss us, then we can just Roxanne them and take a knockout on their V-Star. That doesn't sound too bad to me. There goes the Water Energy onto Giratina V. And Spit innocently. Now, it is interesting they didn't attach Grass to this. So they might have a lot of Grass Energy in their hand. Which is interesting. Let's go up to this. There's an energy card. We're going to use this. No. We'll just bench this and do concealed cards first. We could draw really, really well, which we don't, but alright, flower selecting. Ooh, this is tough. I don't think we have that many yet. We have no energy price, so I think it's okay to take this. Yeah. Go with this. And then we can just courses experiment. We definitely want this grass, and then a recycler could be good too. And is there anything else we really want to do? I don't think so. I think we can just attach this here tree into Cramorants. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have the 7, so we can play our Mirage Gates, but I don't think I really want to yet. Our board is pretty well set up if they do decide to go with the Greninja this following turn. Yeah, I think we are fine just to spit instantly for the knockout. And then we'll have to see what happens to us next. If we get boss, we get to Roxanne them, hopefully. If we don't get boss, we just hopefully, or almost guaranteed, yeah, guaranteed on our hand, we boss KO this. If they don't, attack with Giratina and knock out this Cramorant. So there's Air Balloon, there's Grass Energy. Okay, so they're going with the Giratina, so they're committing. So see if they have the boss here. Their deck is pretty thin at this point, and I don't think they've seen any boss. Yeah, so there's the boss. Bring up Giratina V, that's fine. And there's the last Mega Impact. Okay, so if we can find Luminia and beat in our deck, we'll be able to Roxanne them, as well as OKO their Giratina, which is going to be really good for us. So we're just going with this Comfy because we need to Flower Select, and we don't currently have a Quick Ball in our hand. There's a third Mirage Gate. Okay. Well, actually, it might not be a good idea to play this because they could draw, what's it called, off of the, they could draw Rank Greninja and just immediately draw 2 off of our Roxanne, but we're going to take the energy so we can seal cards. Okay, there's another net. So we do get to roll Comfy one more time. Do this. There's a Roxanne. Okay, cool. So now what we can do is we can just go VSTAR, Mirage Gates. Okay, actually no, that is such a big deal. I completely blanked. I should have played Energy Cycle so we can get stuff in the deck. That was a big oversight from me. Definitely should have done that first. And we are pretty low on grass energies. Hold on, how many grass energies? We did prize 2 grass energies, which is pretty annoying. Okay, so now I'll grab this and nope, the Psychic Energy. Attach these. No, I'm gonna Rod. We'll just get back to Pokemon. That's fine. We just want Tina V back. We can net this Comfy. Go into Tina, so we have the knockout. We'll just rebench this. And we can Roxanne. And hopefully we draw out to Giratina V. If we don't, we can still have X Thornton and stuff. We don't draw out, which might be a big deal. We could roll concealed cards again to try and find out how many Quick Balls are we down. 2 Quick Balls, 1 in the Lost Zone. So the likelihood of us finding this is like decent. I think I'll just attach here Knockout. We can Ordinary Rod and Mirage Gate, hopefully knock their guys out with Ninja this turn if we do get one shot. So I'll just Lost Impact. Want to keep this grass on here though. So remember, we do have limited of those, as we learned when we played those Mirage Gates earlier this turn. We'll get 2 prizes. Chorus, which is nice. And Grass, which is also good. Different with the Comfy Balloon, which makes sense. See if they got. There's Flower Selecting, giving a VIP pass. Another Flower Selecting coming in. Now, let me see. Do we have 10 in the Lost Zone? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we easily have 11. Which means Requiem is online next turn, so we don't actually have to find a Mirage Gate in order to knock out this bench Giratina V they have if they don't one-shot us this turn. Because we can just attach a Psychic Energy that we can hopefully find out a couple concealed cards. We have Switch Scuba Net, so we can Flower Selecting 2. We have decent ways to draw. And there's only 3 Psychic Energy in here, so we actually still have access to 3 in our deck. There goes the Mirage Gate. Okay, so that might signal they have a pretty strong hand if they're getting rid of that, or they just have another Mirage Gate, one of those. Um, let's see. Okay, yeah, so like I said, either they have a very strong hand or another Mirage Gate, and they have another Mirage Gate, so they'll be playing that. But I wanted the Sableye, which does make sense. Fortunately, our board is pretty good against Sableye right now. We have access to Scoop Up Net. Tool Jammer on that Giratina V, which doesn't do much. There's just a Lost Mine now. Camoing Comfy, I think, is what they're going to do. And then who knows where the other stuff's going to go. Wherever it goes, we can just negate it with Scuba Net, which is nice. Onto the Cramorant. Oh, so actually taking the knock on the Cramorant. That is interesting. But we don't really want to find this Psychic Energy, so I think that means actually what we could do is try and go for the KO some of their Pokemon Rating Greninja, which will basically put us in checkmate now. They'll have to have a lot in their hand in order to actually win the game this following turn. So I actually think I like that play a decent amount. So I think I'm actually going to play this. Okay, there's Mirage Gate, there's Ordinary Rod. So we have everything we need, and then keep this energy. These guys can go away at this point in the game. I think we're going to be needing them. Then we can Ordinary Rod. Wait, we actually don't have any. Oh wait, we don't have any energy in discard pile. I did not realize that. So we actually have it all on their deck for the Mirage Gate. There you go. Awesome. Okay, so we'll put those here. We will Scoop Up Net this, just to reset the damage. We have game in our hand, so I think we can just conceal this and then attach this here. There's double Cramorant, which is pretty cool. And we can switch into the Greninja. And we have guaranteed game on anything with Requiem that next turn, and there is the concession. I did play not too great there at the end getting that Ordinary Rock because I thought there was water in the discard pile. Actually, it's actually in the Lost Zone because of the Lost Impact that I did. Just a little brain fart there. But that was a pretty good showcase of the Giratina deck, of how both kind of sides or modes of the deck can function. You saw a decent amount of the single prize there with the Greninja and the Cramorant. And then you also saw the Giratina side threatening that just game-winning Star Requiem, as well as taking the one-shot on my opponent's Giratina. That was a pretty good game, so I think I'm going to end it there. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I do videos like this all the time. Yeah, let's do it. If you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.